Autumn has arrived, and suddenly we can see changes in the sun and the shadows on the mountains. This week we've been busy with regenerative farm work, preserving our abundant fruit, and excitedly building our new studio in the old farm shed. We are two sisters, Julia and Anastasia, caring for a regenerative fruit farm on the east coast of Australia. We have a dream to build a self-sustainable future and regenerate the land for generations to come. This paddock is regenerated and filled with native trees and grasses. It's so special, and we always get inspired here to continue this work throughout the farm. Before the day gets too hot, we head out into the paddocks. With Magnolia, Moth, and Pokey the dog, of course. The goats do an amazing job here, helping out and munching on the leaves of the regrowth of weeds like lantana and camphor laurel. This is a camphor tree, and they have eaten all the leaves off it. This means we'll stop the cycle of the weed growth. Good job, Maggie! We have several stages of regeneration happening across the farm. In this paddock that we cleared last year, it used to look like this, filled with bracken fern, lantana, and cassia. Now that it is cleared, some lantana still comes up, but we are able to easily pull it out, especially in the wet weather when the soil is all soaked. Magnolia always comes and helps by eating weeds. She always eats thistles. They are her spiky snack. And wild passion fruit. At this stage in the regeneration, a field of flowers have appeared. And even though they are very pretty, they are invasive. We have always called them blue tops, but don't know much else about them. We recently got an app called Nature ID that helps us differentiate different plant types. We were able to find out that they are actually called ageratum, and they even have some medicinal benefits. They are originally from Central America and are a highly invasive weed in Australia and in many places across the world. We find the app super helpful in finding these invasive weeds and learning more about them. Check out the link under this video to get the app. Sometimes this work seems quite overwhelming, especially in the hot rainy season where everything grows so quickly. We have learnt to look at everything not as one big job, but rather lots of little, more manageable tasks. This way, it's not as overwhelming, and we're able to celebrate small achievements, especially with the help of our animal friends. When the day gets too hot, we move our jobs inside. Our sweet Uncle Adam is helping us to convert this part of the old shed into a studio. We are learning how to level using an old-fashioned water level. The water sits in a drum and stays even with gravity. And we always watch out for spiders. We're going to put a floor through here, so the first step is to level it and put some piers in. At the end of the day, we pour the concrete. There are some green papayas on the tree. And of course, so many wax jambus at the moment. So we are going to try to preserve and ferment them by making kimchi or kraut. Chopping up all the fruit always takes so long, but we have fun chatting and joking as we work. This is a mix of green pawpaw, wax jambu, cabbage, carrot, and ginger. We're adding a tablespoon of salt per 800 grams of vegetable. And then we're mixing it until it starts dripping and forming a brine. We then push it into a jar and pour the brine on top, using a cabbage leaf as a weight to catch the floating bits of vegetable and keep them under the brine. This is where they will ferment and turn into a yummy kimchi. We are all so excited to see what the floor will look like. Even Magnolia and Moth. Hey! Who's that? Moth! Oh! Oh no. Maggie, Moth! It's a playground. Moth! Yay, Moth finally got up after a lot of consideration. Maggie! These floorboards are seconds from a mill. They would normally be thrown out because they have rough markings on them and are odd or short lengths. But we love the gnarls and knots that tell a story, and it's so beautiful that we can give them a second life instead of being thrown away. Our dad built this old farm shed from some invasive weeds that were on the farm. He felled the radiata pines in this area that we are regenerating now. They were an introduced weed species, and their removal began the regeneration process. The beautiful hand-carved beams that were formed are going to be such a special feature of this space. It's so hard that we didn't get to learn our dad's incredible building skills, but we are lucky to be able to learn from our uncle, who is a carpenter and has so many skills in restoring old buildings. Each day we are learning something new, chatting away on the worksite, listening to his silly jokes, and watching his process and helping out. Yay, the floor is down. What a milestone. Scout and Mama always waddle past from the dam. When they hear that we are at the shed, they make a special detour just to come see us. The goats think that we've built them a big new home. They love jumping around on the worksite like it's a playground. The goats are so cheeky, always nibbling on Uncle Adam's hat, jumping on everything, and play fighting in what they think is their new goat palace.
Stop it! No, you two! Yeah, you stop! Yeah. Maggie.
Julia has made a special meal from jackfruit that we picked last week, tempeh, gado-gado, and the kimchi that she made from our wax jambu and green papaya. Our first meal in the new studio, and we're feeling very proud. In the paddock above the shed, we're working on restoring the natural balance. After our dad felled the radiata pine trees here, we had to clear the shrubs like lantana and camphor trees. Now the goats graze here and eat any regrowth of the weeds. Here are some beautiful native hoop pines growing back. But we've had a problem here on the edge of the rainforest with a native tree that vigorously regrows after land clearing.
Poison peach.
The plant is called poison peach and is highly toxic to animals. We once lost one of our sheep after they ate it. So now, after every few weeks, we carefully look through the whole paddock, searching for this poisonous plant to protect the goats and sheep. Its leaf shape and colour is different from other plants, so we carefully spot them each time. Oh, this one is definitely poison peach.
I found some.
Wow, we're finding so much today.
Ooh, it's a big one. I found another. I think there's one down
There seems to be so much here, right on the edge of the rainforest, amongst the ferns. We'll keep looking. Maggie and Moth are coming to watch. It's very scary to try to find every plant and not leave any behind because they are so poisonous. Here is a hoop pine growing in the base of an invasive camphor tree. It's so nice to see balance returning. This paddock is really starting to regenerate, and all the native species are flourishing and starting to return. It's so amazing. Look at this beautiful old hoop pine. This is one of the black cockatoo's favourite hangout spots. In the patches of bush that have been regenerated, we have noticed native wildlife returning. There are yellow-tailed black cockatoos and currawongs playing. They say that currawongs call the rain and that you can expect rain after you see black cockatoos twirling in the gullies below us and singing from the treetops. We live and farm on the land of the Arakwal and Minchinbul people of Funjalong. Indigenous people have practiced living and farming in harmony with nature systems for so many years. These practices of regenerative agriculture and permaculture owe their roots to immense Indigenous knowledge. We hope that while living on this land, we can respect this knowledge and history, while taking small steps to try to repair the ecological damage that has happened since colonisation. Thanks for watching. We are so grateful for your support. Love from Julia, Anastasia, Mum who films everything, and of course, all of the animals.